guys are so quiet already.
Make sure you record it, because it doesn't happen very often.
They call us a fairly odd panel because they both worked on Fairly Odd Parents together, but they also both worked on a lot of projects.
She's beautiful. Where is she? I can't.
Oh, there she is. Hi there. Like, where's that voice coming from? Sorry. Thank you. I didn't want to look like Stevie Wonder at her. But they worked on a ton of stuff together and have a great history and a great chemistry together. So have at it, kids.
Want to go right to questions, Joanne?
Sure.
Let's just toss it out there.
Toss it out.
All right.
I told them the story of how we
Very
met.
good.
Yeah, like, toss.
You get Shaggy? Yes, you. You're dressed like that, right? I didn't just insult you. Okay.
Shaggy. We saw that creepy mystery, Shaggy.
Okay, good. I was like, oh, that's a good way to start. Okay, here you go.
What was your guys' favorite Timmy and Vicky confrontation?
I kind of like when you were to like trip Skylight or something like that. There was like one thing where I really messed it up for you and you were freaking out or cursed or I don't know.
She's always ruining man opportunities for me.
Man opportunities. Secretly we love each other. That's funny. But I think my favorite Fairly Odd Parents episode ever was when Timmy wished it was Christmas every day. I wished every day could be Christmas. That one really funny. Well, it's not gonna be Christmas, you little Timmy jerk. I do love Tootie too. Timmy, I love you so much. We should talk about like how we met and like how we started working together and how you teach me everything.
Do it!
The weird thing is Gray was late for her first session.
And every session after that.
Ever since then. And she always walks in with a coffee being like, hi.
I call it latte, like a vanilla latte, because I had to stop for one. Yeah, well, if anybody was at my panel last night, I was saying that I got in a car accident on my way to Rugrat's, and I was like late and freaked out, and she was really nice to me, and she was like, you know, she was an old pro by then, because she was doing it when she was little, so she was like, come sit here, good eye.
It wasn't 80.
No, she was really sweet to me because I was really freaked out.
We were the McNulty brothers.
Yes.
Should I see the Olympics?
But you stupid baby, I didn't know how to couldn't find a dead lizard. No, it's just kind of like a little boy like this, one of the McNulty brothers, and then I played Reptar the one time when he died.
Then we yeah, I'm Leslie and Dan Phantom and Scooby.
Lots of coffee and lots of lunches.
Yeah.
It's pretty scary to hear a reptile come out of you. I just say that for the record. I had to close my eyes and not look. All right, hands.
Like a Faz Ventress.
No, stop it. Hands, save me. Somebody with a hand, for the love of God.
Somebody behind you.
Oh, thank you. Well, I can't. I don't know.
Hi. Together the two of you are my entire childhood, so I just wanted to say thank you. And Frankie Foster is the best thing ever.
Aww, it's the closest thing to my real voice, Blue. Oh my gosh, you're driving me crazy, Blue. Get over here.
Thank you so much. I don't have any questions. I just wanted to say thank you.
Good
I told him
question.
the story about how, I don't even know if you remember this, but when I got the part for Foster's and you got your part, we were all excited. And then I was on vacation in Hawaii and you called me and said, actually, you know what? They're going to go to celebrities. They're going to do a celebrity round of auditions. So, and I was like, oh. And then she forgot to tell me she was joking. And so, she left a message and then I was trying to call her back and I couldn't get you for like 6 hours. So I was like freaking out for 6 hours. I was like, oh yeah, I was just kidding about that.
You, sir, the ears. You had your hand. I'm behind you now. I'm over here. Hi. How you doing? Don't touch your mic. Haven't you ever been in my panel? Just lean in. Lean in. Take just a moment. Scare all these people between us. For
For Tara Strong, I'm sorry if this is unrelated. Well, I know it's unrelated, but can you please say it's hero time?
It's hero time as Raven or as... Oh, it's Ben, I'm sorry. I'm right in the middle of doing Titans, and I can't tell you, sorry, about why I said that. Go hero. It's hero time. Quick, don't be such a dweeb.
Yes, you're learning, yes. And no question happens, it's all good. Oh my gosh, you're grabbing again, so grabby. Sunday morning grabbies.
Hey, Tara, what was your most favorite, what was your favorite character that you'd like to voice for the most?
That I've ever done? My very number one favorite was doing the sequel to The Little Mermaid and singing with Jodie Benson, because I just don't know what little girl didn't want to be The Little Mermaid, so that was the closest thing. And like when I first met her, I burst into tears. She was like, "Are you okay?" And it was so surreal to sing with her. And then after that, that's always my first favorite because that was like my dream job, and then I couldn't possibly pick a second favorite. I love doing Twilight, I love doing Harley and Batgirl and Timmy and Powerpuff Girls. I've just been so lucky with all the characters, so I couldn't possibly pick a second favorite.
Right? Yeah, I have a favorite. Well, Azul is my favorite because she's just so evil and so cool, and I'm not very cool in real life. I'm a goofball. Oh, I'm a total goofball, which is cool. That's cool. But I am doing this new fairy for the Tinkerbell movies. You know, they're doing this direct to DVD, and she's called Gliss, and I started just doing scratch. Like a lot of times we'll get hired to do scratch for those, and which is fine, and then they choose a celebrity, which is fine. I still make my money while I do the scratch. But I added in a lot of my personality while I was doing scratch. I was just like adding in funny lines here and there, and so they said, you know, Graham, we brought in some celebrities, but then we felt bad because they were kind of reading like your lines after stuff that you had actually come up with, and it was so your personality that you know we kind of felt bad, and we just were giving you the part. So I was like, wow. So it hasn't come out yet, but it's called The Winter Woods, and it'll be out like in a couple months, and it's actually maybe at the end of this month I think it's coming out. Anyway, so Azula's my absolute favorite ever because it was just such a great acting challenge. But this part of Gliss is like one of my favorite, my second favorite, because I just feel like I put a lot into it. So, yeah. But you are all vanished later.
Oh, hi. Over here.
Oh, there you are. Hi.
Do any of you have like arguments with any of the characters in your head over some sort of dilemma or decision making?
In real life or on shows?
In real life.
I argue with myself in the car, like with an imaginary person, just like someone who I'm mad at in life, and I'll just catch somebody like kind of at a stoplight watching me go.
Tell them a story about when you were being filmed and you didn't know for an audition.
I was doing this video game, and this studio had this, like the booth was in one room, and then the control booth was in one room, and then you go down this like long hallway, all these turns to where you would stand to record with the microphone. And I was working on this video game, and the guy was just like over-explaining. Like, I got it all. Like, I read it beforehand. I know what I'm doing, and every line he was like, okay. So she started on this long journey, and then she went over this mountain, and this warrior. I mean, it's just like a 15-minute thing, and then my line was like, stop or something. And then the next one, okay. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, I mean, every time I start talking, I'm like, yes. I was like going on, and so then at the end they're like, hey, do you want to meet the director and everything and come back and say goodbye to everybody? I was like, yeah, absolutely. And I like pack up my stuff and I go in there, and there's a video camera has been set up in the room that I was in, and there's like a monitor with
Great podcast. Great episode. You mentioned that they're doing a new season of Fairly OddParents. So y'all can go into more detail on are y'all working on that right now?
Yeah, we actually, the reason we had to come in on the Red Eye is we do them on Fridays, and we just did together an episode this Friday. And the only spoiler I can tell you is that I get a magical dog named Sparky, and he's so hilarious. He's on, I don't know what character.
He's on Tough Puppy. He plays Snaptrap for many a Snaptrap, and he was an animator. He's so damn talented. He was an animator, and Disney was using him for all their scratch, and he's just brilliant. And, but he was doing it for free just because he was like there, and they're like, "Hey, Matt, you're amazing. Come in here and do this thing." So yeah, it's so great.
And he adds so much comedy. It's like, whenever they talk about reviving or a pickup, they say we need something big. Like with Rugrats, they had Dill, or with Fairly OddParents, it was Poof, and then this season it's Sparky, and he's so funny. He really adds.
He's got like a
to the
Rick
show.
Moranis kind of voice.
So cute. Yeah, and I love doing that podcast. Kevin Smith's memory is scary. Like, I'm like, how do you retain all that information? So yeah, that was fun.
This is for Gray. I wanted to know if you could say the line that she uses as a pickup line about being really sharp.
Wait, who?
Azula.
Oh.
The pickup line that she uses.
If you tell me what it is, I will say it. It's been
Busted, dude.
I know the line, I just don't know it word for word.
I remember her saying, like, every time I like a boy, they think I'm going to do something terrible to them. Or something like that. Which I totally relate to. Don't make me angry. If you remember it, I will totally do it.
For both of you, and Fairly OddParents, which are like your favorite fairies, like out of them all? Like what Cosmo one, Jorgen, Wandissima, all of them?
I like doing the tooth fairy because she's very, very.
I would have to say Cosmo makes me laugh every time Darren Norris opens up his mouth. And sometimes when we get the script in advance, I read it and I hear it in his voice, and I just have to laugh because he's so stupid. He's my favorite. I mean, literally everything he does makes me laugh. And he's one of those performers that's doing Cosmo and Dad and Jorgen back to back, and you're like, I don't know how that's not given out. They're all screaming and high-pitched and low-pitched and crazy, and he's so talented, so he's great.
On Top Puppy, he does like all the villains and the chief, and I mean he's amazing. Yeah. I feel like a dork now because you said like, what's your favorite fairy? I thought you meant like what favorite fairy that we voice, and I was like, well, what do we voice? And I voiced the tooth fairy. No, now I feel like I said that my favorite fairy is like me. I like Cosmo. Yeah, I like other fairies.
Maybe selfish, Gray.
My favorite things are about me.
No wonder you're not on Twitter. There's a hand right here. I'll get back to you. Don't worry. I guess you can hit me later if I skip you.
What advice would you give to someone that wanted to be a voice actor?
Well, I always tell people to start with acting lessons and singing lessons and improv classes because, people say, oh, I want to do that. It's just reading, right? And it's not. You're creating these characters and bringing them to life. And any acting training that you have when you're learning beats or how to improv, like Ray said, she got this role because she was, injecting some of her own funny stuff. And you have to be really confident when you get to that level. And then after you've done that, if you've got a local class where you can get behind a microphone and get some studio time, that's really great. And Gray and I are both in a DVD that I made a few years ago, actually 10 years ago. That's called voicestars.com, and you can pop it into your computer.
How did we make it before we were born? What? How did we make it before we were born?
Oh. And then my best advice too is don't get out there and put out a CD until you're really ready.
Like, but then my teeth and, oh yeah, I'm old.
Well, I haven't made a demo since it was taped. So. Because you want to be really ready, because if you get that shot in the studio and you're too nervous or you're not ready, you might not get another chance. So you want to be. Also, to make a good demo is about $1,000. So you want to make sure that you're really ready for that.
Yeah. And I mean, yes, be in plays, because I feel like theater is like, that's where I got my training, and I know Tara too, like, it's because it's a place where you can be anything. You can be a little baby, you can be a dragon, you can be an old woman, you don't have any limits, and it's all just you know, just nobody's judging you yet. You're not in front of casting people. You're just kind of getting your chops done. And it really is acting. It's not doing a voice. Because I've worked with people that are doing a voice, and it just doesn't. It's very one-dimensional. People can't really embrace it. They can't relate to it because it's just, you know, an impression. And some of the guys that have done Scooby, they're not actors. They would just like do a voice match for Scooby, and you know, they would do maybe, you know, a little bit of work, and then pretty soon it was just like just a voice. It's not, you know. Anyway, also, yeah, don't take a class from a casting director until you're super good. Because some people I've taken classes, like once I got all my training, I learned from another actor, Mary Kay Bergman. She was like my mentor, and then once I felt like she couldn't cast anything, but she could give me like lots of great advice. And then once I felt like I was ready and I wanted to meet people, it sucks that you kind of have to pay to, you know, get in front of somebody, but I did like a casting director workshop and met like 6 casting directors, and after that it was just great, because, you know, if you're they think that you're brand new and you're just really good. It's like, no, I've been working at this for a long time to pretend like I'm really good right out of the gate. So yeah, but don't make your mistakes in front of casting directors, because then they're like, oh, you're that new person that's like really green and needs a lot of work, and this can't get that out of their head, you know. So. And keep going. No matter how many people tell you, if you think you're really good, don't let people talk you out of it by saying it's a small world, there's no new people. There's this girl, Breezy. I don't know if anybody on the internet knows who she is. Breezy. Anyway, I don't know where she is. Where is she? She does like our voices, and she does this. I think she's like 17, and she just makes these YouTube videos of her doing voices. And I'm actually going to talk to my agent about. I posted her video on my Twitter feed, and I'm going to talk to my agent about her, because she's really, really good, and she just keeps trying, and I'm really proud of her for doing that. Because honestly, 100 people a year will go, Gray, I really want to get into voiceover, what should I do? And I'm like, here's what you need to do. You need to, you know, take classes, and you need to do this, and you should make it, you know, you need to make a demo. And I swear, like, maybe one person out of all the people puts the work in. They just kind of want, you know, it's hard. And but if you really want it, there's room for talent. So.
If it's been a while since you voiced the character, do you ever forget that character's voice?
Yes.
If it's been a while, especially video games, who asked me, I don't know if you're here, but in line, they said, can you do percent? I forgot. Like, video games, sometimes you forget because it's so much dialogue, and then you move on to whatever series work you're doing. Typically, if you've been doing a show for a long time, that kind of sticks in your head, but yeah. I don't know, to revisit
I did Wax the Black on Friday, and I was like, what is that again? I mean, it's been a long time since I've done her, so I was kind of doing her with like more of an Irish accent, and he's like, no, and I was like, oh yeah, more of a fireball kind of thing, right? He's like, yeah.
The good news is they'll always play what they call a voice reference, and they'll play it back for you so they can remind you.
I had to play Ice Queen before I left, because I was like, what if somebody asked me to do the Ice Queen? I can't remember what it was, and I went and bought it on iTunes and watched the episode. I'm like, oh yeah, I can't remember.
Back here with the captain.
What was it like working with Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill in Arkham City?
Well, we didn't work together in Arkham City, but I worked with them on the Batman series, which was incredibly surreal to sit between the two of them. And I think Kevin Conroy is the best Batman there ever was, and Hamill's the best Joker there ever was. So sit there, yeah. When it comes to superhero stuff, I'm a big fan of the darker stuff, and they're just both so believable in those roles. And so to be in that studio and watch them work was a huge honor. I think they're amazing.
Yeah, Mark Hamill's incredible, and just to think like just how iconic he is and how down to earth he is at the same time.
But also how good he is at voiceover.
Yeah. And he's a theater guy too, Broadway.
Yeah, and a lot of times a celebrity will come in and they don't have the chops for voiceover, but he really does.
Because he's larger than life anyway. Like the way he speaks is just like he's very theatrical. I mean, he's a theatrical person. So yeah, but during Arkham City when I did Catwoman, we just worked by ourselves. I didn't even see her. She's my good friend.
Thanks, everybody. Goodbye. Yes, you, sir.
You're both in I Know That Voice. Have you seen it? Do you know anything about it?
I've only seen her clip. I haven't seen my clip. I talk way too much. Like my family last night, I just told like every embarrassing, crazy story that I would probably never want anyone to know. And then I called them after, like, yeah, can I cut out some of the stuff that I said? And I complained about people. And I was like, what? Burning some bridges. So yeah. Anyway, they're really nice guys. So hopefully they'll keep my career alive.
one where you're bashing everybody, like the up there. Everybody.
I was talking about like just bad directors, which is not good because it's like they still want them to hire me. I make a lot of bad choices. She's always trying to help me and save me, and I don't listen.
When you did Fairly Odd Parents, were you very sad about Timmy's life when you were acting?
I don't know that Timmy so much gets sad because he has these fairy godparents helping him out, and certainly when you watch certain episodes where his parents don't know his name, or Vicky's, going to kill him, then it's sad. But within the animation, I've been sad in roles. I've been sad as Harley or as Kylie or whatever it was. I've been sad, but not so much with Timmy because he's got these amazing fairy godparents to get him through stuff.
I feel like they're his real parents,
Yes.
Sorry.
If I can ask Tara for a favor, if you can sing as Bubbles, Love Goes Around.
The whole song.
Open eyes and look at what the world has to see. Look at all the colors, red, yellow, blue, and green. Everyone has a special song deep inside your heart. If you want, you can sing with me. It's a perfect place to start. Because love, 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 la la la, la la la. Make the world go round.
You're the follow-up to that.
Great. I think you did a very good job at doing Asajj Ventress in Star Wars. So, what's it like doing that character for you?
Gindi just he said he wanted it like really androgynous, so they picked me. But he just said I don't want anybody to know whether it's a woman or a man, just like something really neutral and like really evil. So I just did something like this. But yeah, no, I didn't realize how big that series was going to become. You go in like once or twice, and then the same thing with Arkham City. Like I was like, oh, I'm going to be Cal, because they were going to do something. They were going to use some other woman, and then it wasn't working out. So Colette just called me last minute. Can you just come down there for like 40 minutes? And I was like, sure. I didn't even know what it was. Get there, I'm like, oh, this art is really cool. I did it, and then all of a sudden my friend's like, oh my God, Arkham City is trending on Twitter, and somehow you're involved. I don't know what, but your name is coming up. So yeah, but no, yeah, Gindi has Gindi's heart.
Tartakovsky.
I just call him Gindi because I can't pronounce him very well. But he just has such a clear vision of what he wants. He will explain. I mean, when we did Samurai Jack, he just always had like just such a clear vision of what he wanted, and he would give you a good explanation ahead of time.
Great, I just want to say you terrified me as Asajj Ventress. It just makes sense. And for both of you, you were talking about singing. How do you keep a particular character's voice while you sing? And like hit the notes but still keep the character?
Well, if I've got to sing in a session, I'll always do vocal warm-ups that I learned from my singing lessons, which is another reason why I recommend that. And most of us do sing, and you need a good ear to be able to mimic voices. And then once you...
Except for Frank Walker does not sing a note. He's the only voice actor I know that does not sing a note. Oh, crazy. Anyway.
But, once you create a character and they sort of exist in your world, and then singing as that character is pretty much the same as talking as that character. So Timmy Turner's not going to be a beautiful singer. But sometimes that gets challenging if you have to do something like a Timmy Turner and then like a Disney princess the next day and you're tired. That stuff can be challenging, which is why I say it's always good to know some good vocal warm-ups and drink tea and...
I don't do any of the things you're supposed to do. I like drink milk and eat cookies and go out there. It sounds like it. I have a trouble like not sounding. It's hard because you want to sound good, and so sometimes I'm like, I'm sounding pretty, and they're like, it doesn't sound like the character anymore. And I'm like, I don't want it to sound good. So it's hard sometimes to put your ego aside and go, okay, I'm gonna just be this person.
And then Vicky's gonna sing like this.
That's pretty outside.
I bet you can. And then he started, and I was like, oh. And like, honestly, everybody else is like a huge musical background. Like Tom Kenny at SpongeBob has the most beautiful voice you've ever. It's just gorgeous. I've gone to see him like play in a band and sing real. You know, he loves 50s rock and stuff. I mean, he just like is unbelievable. And I mean, you know, I mean, Billy West, like all those guys are just. Rob Paulson. I mean, he could be on Broadway. Yeah, everyone.
Hi.
Thank you.
I was just gonna ask two questions actually. One to how did you feel about doing Clara and Drawn Together? It must be hard to some of those lines because they're pretty controversial. Then for Gray, I know you said yesterday you mentioned Tito Fuentes, and I just wanted to know if do you know Spanish, or do you ever do any voiceover in Spanish?
I played Flicker on Handy Manny, and he,
Local picture, you know, honey nanny.
he didn't speak any English until like the third season. So, but it was just like baby words. I mean, it wasn't too difficult. Apparently my grandmother said I spoke Spanish until I was like 3, and then she was like, "Ay, mijita, you were so wet. I didn't want to teach you any more Spanish." I was like, "Thank you very much for ruining my I'm working a lot more." And Tito Puente, my grandma sang with the Latin band leader Tito Puente. She was a big band singer, and so yeah, I know all the boleros. I know like Saguaraní, Bésame Mucho, You Usted, and I put Mexican songs on. I put out 5 albums, so I tried to do at least one song in Spanish on every record. So yeah.
Oh, and I loved doing Drawn Together. It was insanely fun, and when I first recorded Black Chick's Tongue, I was playing it for my mom over the phone, and she started to cry. I was like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "It's so beautiful." I'm like, "Are you listening to the words?"
I thought you were crying because it was so gross.
No, it's like that, but it was. I mean, because I do so many shows for children, it's really fun to get in the booth and say naughty words and make out with Cree children.
So we're trying to get to come to one of these. We were just texting her last night, and she said she wants to. Her thing is, one time she put her purse on her arm and she was getting ready to go, and they were like, "Oh, Cree, we just need you for one more line." So, "Can you see I got my bag on?" Now every time anybody's leaving and they call you back, they're always like, "Can you see I got my bag on?"
Really, nobody hear where I'm standing? Really? Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, this section. See when I come back to visit. Hello, hands. I like you guys.
So you've both been very inspirational to me and been around my whole life. But I haven't heard Gray talk about the Weekenders yet, and
Well, Laura Corey was one of my favorite characters because she was just like really simple and nice and sweet, and you know, she was just all out there. And I just had so much fun with it. That was just a dream cast. We would always look. I mean, I love Phil Lamar and Cass Soucy and Jason Marsden. Which I'm working with Jason on a new show called Kaijudo right now, so I can. And Phil Lamar's on that too, and he's Bradley Baker. So it gets our little group back together. And Jeff Bennett would come in on that show and just do like 5 minutes of work. He did like 1 line in every show on the Weekenders, and we were like, "Oh, Jeff, gosh, that was the easiest job ever." But he didn't get to sit and have fun with us. Those were really fun sessions with the 4 of us, and we really bonded. And it was one of my first big cartoons. So yeah, I love the Nemesis kids, Bree and Colby. The character was really good. I mean, the creator was a really good friend of mine, Doug Langdale, and he just wanted them to be really cheesy people. He's like, "Oh, you know, they're like the popular kids, they're super cheesy." So I decided to name them Bree and Colby after cheesy. And then he did El Tigre. I don't know if anybody watched El Tigre.
Tigre.
And now we're doing a show with a new movie. Doug Langdale, if you like him, he's working with the creator of El Tigre to this feature animated show. animated feature with Guillermo del Toro. If anybody knows like Pan's Labyrinth, and it's going to be amazing because the animation is incredible. If anybody knows Jorge Gutierrez, because El Tigre, Anyway, so long. I like lore. Thank you.
All right, you. Just because you have really awesome black plastic glasses, and that's awesome.
Can you do a Timmy and Vicky impression?
No. We can't do an impression, but we can do them for you. I guess, twerp, I guess it's just you and me tonight. So go lay down and don't bug me. Vicky, the door is for you. Who is it? I wish Vicky would follow the door into another universe.
Because I have met kids and you're just like trying to do something cool for them, you know, and you end up looking like an idiot because they're like, oh, I like Fairly OddParents. I'm like, you do? Oh my god, I was like, I do Vicky. And then I go like, hi, where I do it? And they're like, oh, I do Vicky too. You know, okay, you know, but you don't want to go, no, I do Vicky, okay?
They're like, oh, you sound just like them. And one time I was at a nail salon and there was like a 7 or 8 year old, usually by 8 or 9 they get it. And she said, oh, she was Melody in The Mermaid. And she's like, oh, what was it like to work with the Sea Witch? And I said, well, typically for Disney features, we work alone. And she's like, no, you didn't. You met her in the cave. I was like, oh, okay, that was fun then.
We had a trick-or-treater that was dressed like Clifford, and I do the voice of Emily Elizabeth on Clifford. And so I was like, oh, how cute. And her mom, we had a long driveway, so her mom was like waiting for her at the very end of the driveway. She came up and I was like,
You know, hi, Clifford, where are you? You want to hear a speckle story, Clifford?
like I'm talking, and all of a sudden the kid just like freaked out. She ran back to her mom, started crying, and her mom didn't know what I did up there. And so her mom said, what did you say to her? What did you do to her? And the kid like walked away, just totally freaked out. I was like, I'm Emily.
Terrifying children from last 80 years. Praise the Lord, everybody.
Hi, I love you both. I love The Little Mermaid. It's my all-time favorite Disney movie, and I was wondering if you could do Melody for me.
Sometimes I pretend I have fins. For a moment, all of me is alive at home in the sea. I'm swirling and twirling, so graceful and grand, not stubbing my toes, getting stuck in the sand. For a moment, I can feel all the dreams I've been dreaming are real. Wish my mother could see it, the sea is my song. For a moment, just a moment, I belong.
I'm like, oh, shoot, I'm not going to be able to remember those words. What are we going to do up here? And she does it.
Disney magic. Now this was coming. You raised your hand. What are you doing, man?
Can you do Azula's freak out at the end of where she freaked out?
Well, hey, tell me what line you want, and then I'll do it.
Just like the screaming freak out part.
Okay. Did she say anything, or did she just scream? It was just like...
When she's flowing all the fire down.
Yeah.
Already getting warmed up for this Halloween activity.
I love when her hair just goes all crazy. Because you know when a woman is like left her hair, you know, like her hair doesn't look good anymore, she's woo.
I was just wondering, do you guys ever abuse your voice acting powers? Like telemarketers and you get really
all the
frustrated with
time.
them?
My kids love watching me. There'll be a call like inevitably during dinner, and I go, hello? Like, is your mom there? And I go, no. I'm waiting. Yeah, baby, lollipop. Can I talk to your mom? Yeah, baby, lollipop.
Pop show up. Baby alone. When I was little, I probably caused a lot of trouble for people because I was like 8 and I could sound like a woman, and I would go through the phone book and look for, this is horrible, I can't believe I did this. I would go through the phone book and look for like couple names, like Mr. and Mrs., you know, Ken Jenkins or whatever, and so I'd call them, hi, is Ken there? Never mind. And I was just like, hang up, and then I'm like,
you divorces, it's fine.
So that was you.
The sheer volume of calls that were made, because I mean, I was a latchkey kid, so it was like, I was home for 6 hours, this is live blood. I was like,
See, you thought she made your childhood, she ruined your childhood.
Yes, you, Mr. McFly.
How was doing Lollipop Chainsaw?
It was so much fun. I mean, some of the dialogue, I was like, what? You want me to say that? And working with Gunn was amazing. He's such a good director, and it was so much fun. It was really funny because in the trailer, if you see when I'm calling him gonorrhea face, usually when I'm doing something, I'm really focused on the script and the stage direction, and I don't look up that much to the director because I'm just one of the person that I'm in the moment, and then he's like, why did you look at me when you said you've got gonorrhea face? And I'm like, I don't know, you've got gonorrhea face. I don't know, I just looked at it. It was really fun.
Well, no, you're good for a wristband. I'll get you guys in a second.
This is for both of you with a quick follow-up with Tara. I want to know your opinion of the television animation industry in that a really excellent show like Symbiotic Titan could get ended simply mostly because there's no toy to go with it. And if it gets revived, Tara, would you like to continue your role as Ilana?
I love Symbiotic Titan. I thought that was so genius, and another Gendy Tartakovsky genius concept from his brain. And I thought the animation was great, and the acting was great, and I don't know why they canceled it, but it's always frustrating for us when we're doing a show and it ends like at a pivotal moment, like Teen Titans. People are like, what happened with Trigon? I'm like, I wish I could tell you, but I don't know. And obviously the fans' voices do matter, and that's why Titans is back. That's why Family Guy came back and Futurama. So us as the performers, we'd love to keep going and doing it forever. So it's sad when the show ends, and I would definitely do more if that got a pickup.
I loved it. It was between Tara and I for that part, but but no, but it was such an amazing script and honestly, it was amazing.
And I love the art. I thought it was so well done.
Yeah.
He really is just.
They started doing a lot of live action. Well, I ended up getting Generator Rex at the same time, and then that didn't go either. Like, I mean, that was like at a really great part too, and it was like goodbye. So yeah, they both got canceled like around the same time, and I think they're just doing more. I was like, but it's Cartoon Network. Why are the cartoons not on it anymore? But oh yeah, about the toys. I just don't like that when I do it's so sexist, but like a lot of the girls' toys don't sell. So, you know, we'll do this great thing and everyone gets an action figure, even some schmo that came in twice, and the girl one doesn't get one. So, but I know because I have a 5-year-old son, he's like, I don't want the girl one. So, you know, I've tried to be equal with him. I'm like, girls can do anything. He's like, okay, but I don't want to lose their toys. I can do anything with the girls.
All right, this isn't going to be awkward unless you let it be.
I've noticed that when the characters have songs to sing in the shows, like sometimes they have you guys sing your characters, and sometimes the studio will call in someone else to do the singing. For example, Twilight Sparkle, Rebecca Chauchet, am I getting that right? Does sing for Twilight Sparkle, and I've noticed that, especially in that example, it's spot on. Like the character, like hey, you could have fooled me and told me that you sang. Because do you all collaborate in getting the voice, or does she emulate you? But like, that's just so excellent how it sounds.
For My Little Pony, the challenge is that I'm in LA, and the rest of the cast and the songwriters are all in Vancouver, and they actually asked me to fly back and forth weekly, which I cannot do. Not just because I'm busy, but I just don't want to miss my kids that much. And so it was a sad decision, because creatively I love to sing and I'd like to do that, and she does sound exactly like me, and to her credit, she does an amazing job. And I know on that show now they have a lot of singers doing even Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy and all the other girls, and the songwriter has a really, really good relationship with the girls that are doing the singing, so they get what he wants right away, and I think that's why they're sort of moving in that direction on that show. And for other shows, it's just, you know, you never know. And when I did The Mermaid, I had so much fun singing with Jodie, and someone said, oh, careful, because sometimes they replace you. And I remember popping in the DVD, and like there was a video, and like, is it me, is it me? I'm so happy that they kept it in. So yeah, you just never really know. And you know, I do the singing for Meg on Family Guy, and so it kind of goes both ways sometimes.
You know, I'm good at singing in character if there's a real character-y voice, but if it's a voice that's really close to my own, because I'm a rock singer, I end up sounding like I do on records and stuff, and it's a very different kind of singing. Like, I'm not like a Broadway quality singer like she is. I mean, she could, like, you know, she's got like, I have like a very stylized singing voice, and so it sometimes doesn't sound good. I did the Wizard of Oz, the Warner Brothers Wizard of Oz. It just came out with Tom and Jerry, and I got to play Dorothy and, you know, some other things on there, and it was like my lifelong dream because I've been doing that impression my whole life. But when I got to Somewhere Over the Rainbow, it sounded like me singing. It didn't sound like, and I was just like, oh, this is not good. It's not good. And then I was at my husband's parents' house, and they didn't really know much about what I did. So he's like, what, Mom, Dad, like, you know, you've been this. So we're sitting there watching it, and the girls start singing, and I'm like, I'm actually good. I'm really doing a great job. And then like 2 lines into it, I'm like, not me. Yeah, it's a relief though, because that girl was really good, and hopefully people think it was me. But like Black Canary, I did for the Music Meister, I played Black Canary with Neil Patrick Harris, and they that music was so well written. But I could kind of get into it that way, and they didn't mind. They were like, we want it to sound like you, we want it to sound like your record. So I was like, oh, that's great, I can do that. I just can't, I don't do that Broadway thing so right.
Sorry, let me shoot it perfect.
He answered your question. Well, that was good then. That was good. You're like a board. Okay, new question.
Tara, can you do a shout out for me in Twilight Sparkle's voice? My name is Wesley.
Your name's Wesley?
Dear Princess Celestia, today I met Wesley. He's pretty cool because he came to see me in Orlando, unless you live here already. Your faithful student, Twilight Sparkle.
All right, we are getting down to it, the last 5 minutes. Oh, everybody has a question now. Okay, I saw your hand up, and you've been door guarding so vigilantly.
Hey, Sarah, do you mind embarrassing my friend Gerald in Twilight Sparkle's voice?
Dear Princess Celestia, I would love to embarrass Gerald. See, I embarrassed you because I got your name wrong. I hope I get through this quickly because clock is ticking, let me talk.
Love you guys both. What are your favorite episodes of The Grim Reaper and also Timmy Turner's Very Odd Parents?
Like I said, my favorite is definitely the Christmas. Wish Every Day Could Be Christmas one. It's so fun.
My favorite episode of Grim Adventures is when Mandy had to sing Somewhere Over the Rainbow. That great song. I don't get it. And it was hard to sing as Mandy because singing is kind of a joyful, like really expression-filled thing to do, and Mandy was just, and she just hated every second of it. You know, you could tell she was dying inside. That smile that cracks the earth in half. I just loved it. That was just the summation of her character. Like, when she smiles, the world ends. Universe. Yeah.
For the person that wanted the Azula pickup line, I think it is your outfit is so sharp that it could cut open the hull of the Fire Nation Navy ship, leaving thousands drowning in the bay.
Leaving thousands drowning in the bay?
In the bay.
Okay.
Your outfit is so sharp that it could cut open the hull of the Fire Nation Navy ship, leaving thousands drowning in the bay.
Tara, could you please say the line, all the ponies in this town are crazy as Twilight?
All the ponies in this town are crazy!
Yeah, I'm not line.
I have a new favorite line. Ready? It's hard to learn.
You haven't had one, so yes. Everybody needs to bring disguises and mustaches if you're trying to get me thinking twice. You haven't come to me yet.
Tara, on Chowder, when you were doing the when you were doing the car washing, was that just for show, or were you guys actually washing cars?
Voiceover pays probably. That episode cracked me up so much, and I always thought that it would be so funny. It's funny that they did that. So I thought it would be so funny if in the middle of an episode, for whatever reason, and if you remember, it was because they ran out of money and they couldn't finish the episode. It was a car at Cartoon Network, like it was someone that worked at Cartoon Network, and we just went out and filmed it, and I think we were watching it, but mostly I was just posing, which is weird. That was fun though.
Honey, we got an order. We got to finish the episode. Is my butt with me? Who's got gum?
You're the hot chick there, you need to get to the motor car. And there's always those like girls that stand there like, car wash, and then some. And you don't get those girls washing your car, is what I'm saying. Not that I've ever tried to get a hot chick to wash my car.
Hi, this one's for Greg, because I have just idolized you since childhood. Is there any way that I can have you just say something horribly sadistic in a Azula's voice for Hannah?
I hope that every day on your birthday, your fire on your birthday cake burns your face off into the ground. Happy.
Hi, everybody. How you doing? Hi. Hey, front row guy, you're close enough. You ask the question without the mic real quick. Yes, you, right by the pink hair. You. Yes, just you're right there. Oh, I see. Next to you, and it looked like it was an optical illusion. Oh, nobody offended.
Oh, yes. In fact, if Robert Serta at Cartoon Network ever wants to sell the behind-the-scenes stuff, especially Powerpuff Girls, he's going to be very rich. We get very silly. I think my favorite story is there was a girl that didn't know that she could leave to go to the bathroom, and she was standing at the mic, and right in the middle of someone else's line, she just went, I'm doing it, I'm doing it, I'm doing it, I'm doing it, and he was. Peeing on the floor, like, you can stay, I gotta go to the bathroom. I had a kid barf in the studio once, too.
Oh my God. So the girl peeing was the first time you met Gray? Or?
I do say a lot of horrible things on the microphone that honestly, like, it would ruin my life. Yeah, we would be destroyed. Yeah, we have to be really nice to the engineer. I didn't say the name Robert Serta, so don't look him up. And Justin at Nickelodeon has a lot of good. He's got a lot of good stuff. And I've said so many dirty things on the microphone. Do you know who Kari Wahlgren is? She's awesome. But she sounds a lot like me, but she's really sweet and never says anything wrong ever about anybody. And Justin was playing my horrible things at her and going, remember when you said that? She's like, no, it's not. And they're like, no, it's just like a year ago. Yeah, she's like, why would I say that? Greg, like, oh, Greg.
I did this to Tara yesterday, but yes, I made her choose the last question. But now you can do it together. This is the final question, and I will allow you all, out of all the fans, to choose your final one for the day. I know I'm conferring. Who do we like the most? Who not that?
Grace says she likes the guy in the second row. Well, she likes you. I have met him at the sign. He was really super nice.
You see, you put in the effort. You know, get
He's
recognized.
just very gentlemanly.
I actually just had a question. You're both referring to both good and bad directors. As an aspiring director myself, what do you usually look for in a director in the studio, and has it changed over the years in terms of voice acting at all?
I really love voice directors that know what to say to the actors to get what they want out of them, and often they'll be like a writer on a game thinking they can do it, and not to be mean, but there's a difference between someone that knows how to pull a performance out of someone and, you know, when you're doing something serious, especially like a Batman with Andrea Romano, and she acted for so many years, or Charlie Adler, who's like so funny and crazy and knows how to get what you want out of them, and a lot of these directors that are very seasoned and been around a long time that can get that performance are my favorite. And sometimes when there's someone new, I don't mean to, but I've got like, let's see what you got to tell me. And then I look at them and they're like, can you make it larger? And I'm like,
Charlie Adler once got the direction, but he's an actor, so he said he knows bad direction. And one time he was doing the voice of a hamburger, and they said, yeah, you know, you're kind of sounding like more like a hot dog. You need to sound more like really? Yeah, people that have been actors are usually great directors. So if you're interested in directing and you're not really interested in acting, take an acting class just so you can kind of see what it's like to be directed. And I also like, I don't mind the line reading if the time's running short and you need to get us out of there, but I really like the first chance to bring what I have to it, you know, first. And then if I can't get it right, then I'm fine with, you know, but like Pam Adlon, she hates line readings, and I've seen her getting really annoyed with people, so, yeah. But sometimes, you know, budgets are so that, you know, the person that, you know, is signing you in, like, a few years later, they're directing, and they're not really directors. And, you know, we work. I'm trying to make up for my behind the voice actor, or I know that voice.
Tara Gray, thank you so very much for singing.